Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Chris Abbott, and in this video, we're going to be talking about what should churches post on Facebook. We're going to give you a bunch of ideas, some of which you probably never heard of, coming up. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. My name is Chris Abbott, and this video is part 3 in a 3-part series that we're doing on what to post on Facebook. Now, don't worry if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2. These are in no particular order, so after you get to this video, you can just go back and check those out. Let's dive in. All right, so first up, you can promote an upcoming event. Now, churches pretty much always have something on the calendar. There's something that's coming up here in a couple of weeks. And so a great idea is just to go on and post either a picture or a video, because you're gonna get a lot more engagement that way, along with an announcement and just kind of the upcoming event and why people would wanna come. The best thing to remember about this is you don't wanna talk about the features, you wanna talk about the benefits, right? What's the difference? Well, features are about you, benefits are about them. So you wanna focus on answering the question, what's in it for me? So if someone reads your post and they say, okay, we've got a women's event coming up for it, what's in it for me? Well, then you want to talk about how the free donuts, the sweet tea, how you've got an incredible speaker coming in and every single person is going to leave with a free t-shirt. That sounds pretty cool. So make sure to talk about what's in it for them. All right, next up, interview your pastor. Right? Everybody loves to hear the pastor and loves to hear some stuff about them, whether it's embarrassing things or whether it's funny stuff or just stories about how they grew up. So one of the coolest things that you can do is just interview your pastor, right? And this can be something you can ask them about how they first got saved or when they were first called into the ministry or how they met their spouse or a funny story that happened to them in ministry, right? Maybe their most embarrassing moment that ever happened on stage. I know one time I was leading worship and I looked at a girl and I tried to smile at her and act cool. And when I came back up with the microphone, I literally smacked the microphone and it went all the way off the stage and I banged it on my teeth because I was trying to wink at a girl during worship. Who does that? All right, so interview your pastor. People are gonna love this. You're gonna get a lot of engagement. All right, now a little bonus tip on this is that you can actually have people submit questions that they want you to ask your pastor whenever you interview them. And you can actually batch your content and go and shoot 3 or 4 different interviews. And then you can literally post them once a week for the next couple of weeks. Again, just a great way to keep people coming back and looking forward to fresh content. And you're gonna get a lot of engagement. Explaining a church term is another great idea for what to post on Facebook, right? So there's a lot of different church words out there and Christianese, right? So picking a couple of those words and breaking them down and explaining exactly what they mean to a regular person is a really, really helpful post on social media. All right, next up, talk about what you're learning. Okay, so you can talk about a book that you are currently reading or something that has stood out to you in the Word, or it could be a Bible study that maybe some of your staff and leaders are going through, right? Whatever it is, just talk about what you're learning and ask people what they're learning. Okay, so before I get to my last couple of ideas, I want to know, what are you learning? So put it in the comments below. Let me know what you're currently learning right now in ministry, whether it's about social media, whether it's about the importance of taking a Sabbath or hiring new staff people, or maybe just something really interesting that you've been studying in the Word. I want to know. Put it in the comments below. All right, next up, invite people to church. Now, sometimes we get so caught up in just thinking of all the different creative things and videos that we can make and post on Facebook that we forget to just simply invite people to church. So don't forget to either use a picture of you or a picture of some smiling, happy people, or again, maybe even just a selfie video shot on a smartphone of just you or someone in your church just inviting people to church, right? You can invite them to visit for the very first time, or you can invite people that maybe have been gone for a long time to come back this Sunday. All right, next up, share your Sunday set list. And I've seen people do this a couple of different times. It can be a graphic, you just be a picture of worship, and then you talk about the songs that you're doing. But for whatever reason, myself included, people love to know what songs you're singing on Sunday. And so by sharing your set list, especially if you do it earlier in the week, like a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, what happens is now it kind of builds anticipation for your worship set on Sunday morning. And this is a really, really good way. In fact, you'll start to see some of the people in your congregation will actually start to listen to those songs throughout the course of the week, getting ready for Sunday. And then when those songs hit, they go even bigger and really just kind of help to lift the room as soon as they start, simply because you posted the songs ahead of time on Facebook. Speaking of worship, another cool thing that you can do is post an acoustic version of some of the songs that you've been singing, right? So if there's a specific song that's just really been going over well and been really powerful in your services, man, have your worship leader or maybe even the worship team do an acoustic version of this, record it, and then put it on Facebook. So we did this during COVID at my church, and it was incredible how many people were liking, commenting, and sharing these videos. And it was just a couple of acoustic guitars, right? And one or two vocalists. Really, really powerful and just a really cool way for people to experience worship in a really intimate, authentic way that they're not used to. This is also a great way to introduce new songs. So if you have a new song that's coming up here in a week or 2 or 3 weeks, you can always have your worship leader do an acoustic version of that song and release it a week before you do it on Sunday. That way it gives people a chance to kind of familiarize themselves with a brand new song. So when Sunday rolls around, they already know the words. This next one is one of my personal favorites because I'm kind of a nerd and I read all the time. So one of the things that you can do is share a reading list. So these can be some of the books that you're reading right now, or some of the books that are on your shelf you're getting ready to read, or my personal favorite, your top 5 or top 10 books that you've read over your lifetime. Right? So this is a great way to share your personal top 10 and then ask people in your church what their personal top 10 is. All right, and finally, you can host a takeover. This is a really fun way to kind of bring some awareness to maybe a food pantry or a nonprofit or a charity that you're partnered with or that you guys support in your local city. You also might want your kids ministry or your youth ministry to do a social media takeover for the day. Right? So just a lot of fun. It's going to kind of switch things up. They get to do all of your social media posts for the entire day. They're going to bring a completely different flavor to it. And the only thing I would recommend is that you make sure to discuss what type of posts are going to happen ahead of time, just so there's no surprises. All right, so if you didn't catch part 1 and part 2, make sure to go back and check those videos out. And if you want to learn a little bit more about how to use paid social media strategies, go over to churchgrowthagency.com. We have a free video training that's going to walk you through what it would look like to use Facebook and Instagram ads to grow your church.